I'm going to have an inbox preview look at this kit here, which is the ESCI ERTL 1/72 scale F-8 E Crusader. And we'll start by going over the box art here. It has the really beautiful artwork. I love ESCI's artwork. I think it's the best box art of all time. And this is depicting a Marines aircraft with the Death Angels markings on it. Really beautiful subject. Like they really did, they knocked it out of their park with their artwork here. And it's telling us we get decals for the United States. I really like how they used to do this too, where they used to have either a roundel or a flag showing what comes in the box there. And on the side we get just our usual modeling information, and we get 9066 is our kit number, and again just our basic information on the side. We'll open it up and we'll have a look here. And so mine, I actually have a vintage ESCI sheet here, a vintage decal sheet, and it's got a Second Marines subject here. I think DC, with this, I think they were actually called the Crusaders. I believe that's the name of their unit. I really can't remember right now. But if we look at we can look at the vintage sheet here, and they give us a little bit of history on the aircraft here. Like, really nice that they've done that. Then we can see our various Navy aircraft. The ERTL. This one, it doesn't actually say the carrier. I'm not sure what carrier this is off of. This VF-11. I guess it's Primuses of the fleet, I think. And obviously this is the Sundowners. And this aircraft here, I'm not sure, VF-84, because I think VF-84 became the Jolly Rogers, I think. But it's off the ERTL also, US Navy. This is kind of interesting. They have this aircraft, which again, I believe it's the Crusaders. You can correct me in the comments if it's a different unit, but it's obviously a Marine Corps aircraft, and it's saying US Navy here. And I think they were actually, when they were in Vietnam, they were land-based. I believe they were stationed, like, land-based. Not saying that this particular aircraft was in Vietnam or not. This one I think is a little bit early for Vietnam, but they have a really nice subjects on these old ESCI sheets. I thought I would just show it here as a vintage piece to go along with the kit. And we'll start off with our instructions and decals. So we have our nice instruction sheet here, which is the fold-out type. Gives us some information on the aircraft. And it goes into our instructions. It doesn't look like it's too complicated of a build, and everything is nice and large. Should be able to make it out what all of our steps are here, our armaments, and the glass work. And then we're getting this aircraft here, which is the Death Angels one from the box art, which is a really beautiful looking aircraft. And on the back, I think this is a Red Devils aircraft, which is another Marine subject. It's pretty nice too. I like the little artwork here. So that's our instructions. Doesn't look too complicated, not too many steps. And then, unfortunately, the way this was stored, it like this was pretty much stored like how it was released, and the decals were like folded like this, and the decals look really nice. Like they're sharp, and they don't seem to have yellowed or anything. But if they're rolled like this, I would be afraid that these would crack. So at least you've got a couple subjects in there, and they do look really nice though. And there's our seat belts and instruments there, and our various stencils. So the decals look excellent. It's just a shame that they were stored like this. And we'll go on to our plastic. Not too many sheets here, but here's our upper wing, which looks really nice. So there is no wing fold. It's not the most complicated thing in the world to cut out and fold though. So we've got recessed lines on this one in our tail planes. So it looks like we should be, with a pin like that, you should be able to move the tail planes. I'm not sure why, if you look at the plastic, this has sort of like a grain to it. You can see how this like flat and shiny this is, and this has a sort of a grain. I'm thinking it's just a flaw in the mold. I don't know why they did that. And then here's our sidewinder racks, which look alright. And our ejection seat, again for 72nd scale, it could be detailed out. I mean, it could be replaced with the resin seat also if you're really worried about it, but at least it's a basic shape. And then we'll move on to the underside of the wing. So there is detail if you want to have the wing raised, like for landing. And our cockpit, nothing there really. We're just going to go off the decal. And the fan there, not much detail. Just an impression it's there. I guess this is our landing gear. And we'll flip it around. So here's our nozzles for the engine. They look pretty good. Like that's the proper way it should look like that. So they've made an effort at it, which looks pretty good. And it looks like we've got pylon markings there. But I don't recall seeing pylons in the instruction sheet because I think this was just the pure fighter in the instruction sheet. And here's our gear doors, and then you can have just like the single sidewinder rail. And the inside, actually the inside of the gear doors is actually excellent. But the way it is on this aircraft, I don't think you're going to see any of it, but it's there anyways. And then we have our main sprue here. And yeah, so I believe these are the wing racks. So you get the wing racks in there, but you don't get any air-to-ground ordnance, which is kind of weird. They could have thrown in an extra sprue with a bomb or something. And really, really super excellent detail though on the panel lines and everything. And these panel lines look just perfect for scale. Like they're very like kind of shallow and very sharp. So they look alright. The sidewinders are pretty poor. I mean, they're passable. You could probably easily work on these fins and that and get them to look proper. But the fuselage looks excellent. Like all this detail on there. And the other piece. So you can't have the refueling probe out, which I don't know why. I think it's Hasegawa on their 48 scale when they make a big deal about having that refueling probe out. Like, who would really want it out if it's just going to be sitting on the ground anyways? So here's our guns and everything. And the guns aren't open, but yeah, so they're not open, but it would be very simple to open them. The detail is amazing though. This would be one to put up against scale plans to see if they're all correct or not. But it looks really nice. And here's our front wheel there. So yeah, it looks really good. And we have just two more parts. Here's our nose cone. Can't really say much about it. I mean, it looks like the correct shape. And then we have our glasswork. The glasswork's a little bit beat up in that from being in the package like for so long, but it looks okay. And our front piece here, I would definitely recommend a mask for this one though, because unfortunately the way they've done it is they've kind of done the reverse. The like the line is on the inside instead of the outside, so it'd be very hard to cut out a mask yourself. But the glasswork does look nice. So this is the ESCI ERTL 1/72 scale F-8 E Crusader. I would say like this is the Marine Corps version, and it looks just awesome. Really, it looks excellent. I'm not sure if this is currently available from Ilari or anybody else, but it looks really good. And other than that, really, thank you for watching.